Okay, so let's get into day two, and let me just put the big part. Okay, so just quick disclaimer: I highly recommend that you do not use, or I mean, you can use. The chances are that you are gonna make some money using the ads before, but simply because it's not a brand new strap, this is ideally just a template for you to use once those new straps come out. But I really want to see the types of results. I've seen that someone's already gotten sales for this actual product with these actual ads, so just to loop back to, I'm actually going to go into the actual like detail of these campaigns and what they were able to do for me in the long run, because again, I would just suggest for you to actually get a dedicated ad account just for you to test stuff, because if for whatever, and this is only like a side thing, right? If for whatever reason your review score like mine, for whatever reason gets shot down, your CPMs are going to skyrocket. Chances are you're not going to get as many sales. So make sure that you have that review score up and running. And I would suggest that you launch ads on a test campaign. And for questions about actually like getting new Facebook accounts, there's this one source that I mean I can sort of vouch for. I sort of can't. But at the time, I know that there's people that sell Facebook Android accounts. But at the time, I didn't have like the connections to actually go out there and figure out like a more legitimate way to get accounts. But as a side thing, this is actually something I've used, and I know that some it's like 50-50 with some people, but essentially, yeah, like the scale, it's a little bit insane. But the actual cost of these accounts, it's very. You can get these for very cheap. And again, just one account once you're 149. Again, that's in the case that your review scores down. If you can get the film with them, I highly suggest that you just run with this. But there's another one that actually helps. That's just like a side thing, and I can't like vouch for essentially. And if you guys are interested in actually getting the review score up, I can source you, next time. But that's just in case you guys want to just hop in and figure out the actual ads. So we're actually gonna throw up some ads right now, and how I would actually go about running some ads. So first things first, we need to figure out what the fuck I need to review, because just one second. Oh, okay. So I need to review these things, I believe. Yes, and yes. Task is not good. Start review pixel. Just one moment, just while we get this whole thing reviewed. I'm not too sure what the issue is with this review audience decrease size. How do I do this? Review ad set to mark complete. Oh, mark complete. Okay, I can just do that instead. Those are my retargeting ads. Unfortunately, I didn't run any retargeting ads for this one in particularly, because, again, this was just a side account that I didn't want to have to deal with, and this just marked as complete. Okay, and then for one review and publish. I'm not too sure what that is. Balance plans needs to be paid. Yeah, so I'm not gonna pay these fuckers because I've already ran campaigns here. I'm not too hot on running new. Oh, forget it. We can actually create an account here, but let's just get into it. Where are the rest of my? Oh, that's why. Okay, so let's actually run into actually creating an account, and I'm actually going to show you. As you can see, some of the results here were actually quite decent for this one in particularly. Again, the only reason I have some Black Friday, Cyber Monday ad accounts in here was because I had an ad spend limit on my main account, so I just ran some here for the hell of it. Why not? And the results on some of these are actually quite insane. So actually, let me just show you. Um, and I wish I think I can. Give me 1 second. I am just gonna go for. I'm actually gonna delete this. Let's just customize columns. Let's just go into like the ones that are most important, which is my. Okay, so amount spent, click through rate, not clicks, CPMs are actually decent, link clicks, unique link click, outbound link clicks actually, the click through rate, unique click through rate, cost per link click, not too important. Add to carts, also not too important. Checkouts initiated, add to carts, that's not important. Okay, these are the important ones that we have to get on board. So actually break these down. So and again, these are just campaigns. Some of these campaigns are actually way ahead of what were actually like being done. I would suggest that you like take a look at like some of the ROAS on this. So as you can see, on average for some of these, we're getting 3 ROAS, but this is towards December when CPM shut up. This is again, I started, I believe, the store around October, and let's look at the ones before that, because I know that that's around the time where CPM started spiking up just the week before. So as you can see, the actual spend was 1,300, And again, this was because this was just a test account. This is before I kicked in any of the Black Friday campaigns. 1,300, and Facebook doesn't actually attribute a lot of the actual like sales, because I know I had a lot of post purchase upsells, a lot of the actual sales. The calculations are a bit off. Anything I believe the range is anywhere from 15 to 25%. That's a little bit off. So even if we add 15% to this is around 4,300 that actually went misattributed. Which is, I mean, this number is still pretty good. So I mean, as you can see, let's just go back to the spend. We went from 1,300 and almost tripled that to $4,000, and I believe the ROAS on this is 2.8, which is pretty decent. But when I started the store, it was even better. It was actually around like a 4 or 5, and that's when I started to scale on a different account. And then okay, so let's just hop into actually making the ads. I had to actually run these because a lot of things have changed since I was last even in here. So number one thing you want to do in creating campaigns is focus on conversions only, and we'll go into heavy detail into actually like lead generation campaigns. And because right now the rest are just stupid fillers that all these Deloitte companies like to use. I'm not too sure why the fuck you would even run Brightness Aware Reach, but that's some of the stuff that is going on. So for this campaign particularly, since it's cold audience, let's just name it something again. You can see on my right, I actually have all of these labeled by percentages. There's some naming, and again, I won't go too heavy into detail. But for now, all you need to know is that you should structure these campaigns in order for you to know what's actually behind them. So because you don't want to get all confused by running the Apple Watch campaign. So this is cold traffic, and let's just go into the top four. Top four, and by top four, I mean that you want to run ads to like the top four countries, which in my opinion are U.S., United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada. Those are going to be your big four, right? So you want to test out on certain countries and ad spend. And I know for this one particularly, Canada was really hot on actually buying these straps. I'm not too keen on what the actual like rough percentage of that, but I can give you was anywhere from 20 to 25% of people actually buying from Canada. So ideally, I like to test the top four countries first versus getting all those e-packet countries out of the way. And I'm not too sure if I can give you guys the e-packet countries, but if I can, I'll link them down below. But for this one particularly, we're going to be cold traffic to the top four countries, and that's it. I would suggest that you break these down into actually interest. So for this one in particularly, the only traffic that I was really running to was Apple Watch, because I believe, and until I'm like proven wrong, that some of these ad sets or the interest are actually like lowering down. I'm not too sure, because right now the only campaigns I've ran in recent times are B2B lead generation campaigns for calls particularly. But for actual products, I've not ran them in a while, so I'm not too hot on that. So on the actual ad side, I would actually run ad, and then let's just say creative one, and then if you have some copy on the actual ads, you would actually list it down by let's just say copy two, right? So you can sort of filter them out. Again, you want to name these as best as possible so that you know exactly what you're looking at, so your dashboard doesn't look like a mess like I have here. But this is essentially what you're going to be looking at. So I don't mess around too much with the auction. Again, I know you could, or no, is it not even in the auction? Oh, it's in the campaign options. Okay, I know that you can outbid some competitors with campaigns, but no, A/B testing, I've not really tinkered too much with that. But for the actual campaign optimization, I'm just gonna run you down through ABO versus CBO. So campaign budget optimization just means that for your actual campaign, you have a set amount of dollars that you want to spend. So say you have $1,000 in your bank. Ideally, you don't want to run CBOs just right away. I think actually running where is it? I don't think okay. So it's not campaign optimization, but the difference between ABO and CBO are going to be that one is allocated towards one campaign, one interest, and one ad. I think that works best if you're just starting and you're just like trying to test shit out. But for CBO, what Facebook just does is if for whatever reason and had one of your campaigns is getting a lot more clicks that day, they're gonna optimize budget towards that campaign, right? So it's you telling Facebook, hey, take care of my campaigns and just spend the money wisely on what you think is gonna get the best conversion. And ABO, the only upside to that, and at the very start, is if you have very little money, anywhere from $100 to $300 to sort of tinker with, ABO just works wonders because it's only gonna spend that amount on the best right purchase. Again, this is just like me fumbling my words, but ABO essentially, set amounts. So sometimes if it sees it's likely to get a purchase, it's gonna spend the money versus CBO. It's gonna go based off all your other campaigns to see which one's more likely to get a purchase again. On the upside for Facebook is they want you to do get some they want to get some purchase because if you do get some purchase, that means you can buy more ads. But that's just sort of my take on ABO versus CBO. For this specific thing, we're actually gonna run CBO campaigns because if you do have some money to tinker around with, I suggest that you just stick with CBOs. But with CBOs, I don't want to actually spend less than $50 because then it becomes a little bit of a mess. So anywhere between $100 to $200, if you have that, if that's within your budget, I highly recommend that you do. But at the start, just try some ABO campaigns just to see if the targets are actually like, if it's actually like good enough. And for actual campaign bid strategy, since I did have a lot of actually like, if I had like some room to work with, I would actually increase the bid cap. But I'm not even gonna lie to you right to your fucking face. I just used to go just run it with lowest cap, right, or lowest cost. I didn't really tinker with that, but I know that there was some people that would recommend for me to actually do that. And then conversion event for website, choose conversion event, and ideally we want the purchase. I know some people like to set up add to carts and all that shit, but I'm not too hot on actually doing that because this is just I'm just giving you the example of the way that I actually did it. So creating new audiences, and I think I have some saved audience here, so I'm actually going to show you. And for start time, 100%, because this is how Facebook sort of works. So they work on a 24-hour basis, meaning that if you set up a campaign to run right away, say it's for whatever, and this happened to me once where I set up a campaign to run at the last hour of the day, and so essentially you give it an ad budget for the 24-hour set, right? So if you were to set up a campaign at 8 p.m. right now, and you give it $50, ideally what Facebook would do is instead of being fair and going, okay, well we have the remainder of the day to spend it, they're gonna spend the entire ad budget throughout. Just it's supposed to be spent throughout the day, but for whatever reason, Facebook just thinks that you're like, okay, well they're throwing this up right now. Let's just spend the entire thing. So if you were to set it up at 12 p.m. your time, okay, so let's just like get back to it. I have something to do, okay. But essentially, if you were to give Facebook right now, so say you were to run your campaigns right now, and you give it a budget of let's just say $50. So instead of waiting, to optimize delivery throughout the day, they're gonna optimize to spend that money as fast as possible. So you want to optimize your campaigns. So, for example, if you're gonna set up your ads right now today, um, and if you're not for whatever reason up at 12 a.m., I would set this up campaign to run tomorrow, ideally in the morning, like at the very very start. So I would start at 0 and then a.m. And just like a background, make sure that you do have your Facebook set up for your local time zone, because I know I had mine an hour ahead, so I would actually have to be up at one. The campaigns would be actually up at 1 a.m. That following morning. It would just mess up with my sleep schedule because I had to set some up beforehand. And I had to be aware that I'm not on Pacific time, so that's just that. On in the term of looking up audiences, like I said, we're gonna target the top four. So we're gonna add United. Oh, you guys didn't see that. United Kingdom. So at the country, United Kingdom, Australia. I would add Australia, and then I would also add the Kingdom, Australia, Canada. Those are the top four. Those are going to be the ones that you're most likely going to purchase from. So Canada. On the age range, I'm not too hot on actually moving the filter around. I know I did get some sales for this one, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. For gender, same thing. And then for I like to turn off detailed targeting expansion. Now I'm not too sure if I should keep it on because of the whole thing with targeting on iOS, but for the time being, I would actually just turn it off. And then for languages, I don't move around with that. And I believe where's the targeting? Oh, detailed targeting. Okay, here we go. So for this one in particularly, what was my most profitable just targeting was actually just Apple Watch. to just this one, and 64 million people are in there. If you just get even 1%, actually it grew from what I remember, because it used to be at 4 million, but now it's at 64 million, and just that targeting alone, if you can get it, just even a percentage, it's a very small percentage of that, you're in the green. But that's essentially just for like the ad targeting. I didn't mess around too much with these or like with the placements, because I did run some placement campaigns on just for story feed, but those don't perform too hot compared to just automatic placements. And that's that for that. And then I was learning Facebook page again, and then for the actual ad, and I'm not gonna write too much copy on the ad, because I'm pretty sure if you joined the live stream yesterday, I actually showed you what that was, but no, it was not a catalog. Oh, I think this is something different. That creative. I don't know what this is. This is new. Product headline. So obviously, I'm gonna leave you guys to like fill this in, correct? But um, I'm actually, you know what? I could essentially just show you. Okay, so we're gonna stop making this campaign. I'm just gonna show you the actual campaign, the most profitable ad I had in this ad account. So let's just look at that, because that will just give you guys a better perspective on like actually what sort of copy I had. And I remember I started in October. I didn't, I think I stopped somewhere in July, but let's just go to ads and let's go to the best performing ones. Let's actually go based on ROAS, so you can see like the one with. Well, actually, no, that actually be quite misleading. So on website purchases, you can see this was the most profitable ad that I was running at the time, and I don't even think this was for the actual Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing. What as you can see here, ad one pops up several times. So I mean, this is like your green light to actually run this one in particularly. But let's just look at the actual dynamic and the creatives behind it, because this was actually an Instagram story ad. It wasn't an actual like story post. It wasn't a post that you would see on Facebook. It was actually the ones that were like converting really well were just the ones on Facebook. So as you can see, it's two different ads, and I would actually recommend that you do this. That you have a dedicated one for actual feed, like feed posts, and then you have a dedicated one for stories. So on this one in particularly, I think these were the most like the highest performing ones. And as you can see here, I don't actually. I might even throw these up in there, but I don't think I released the actual ad creatives for this one. And I'm actually gonna show you in like a different video how to actually make these, because they're not. I made some of these go down. I'm so sorry. But as you can see here, it's just like it's legitimately just a backdrop, and then just me running through time, just setting up new like just new watches. And the same thing goes with this one. This one wasn't anything special. It's just it just filters out the watch. There wasn't like anything too complicated on it. And what I suggest that you take away from these actual ads is, once that Apple Watch does come out, once that new strap comes out, do this. I can almost guarantee it's gonna fucking make you money, because you're undercutting the actual Apple's price by like almost half, and the margins are gonna be insane. Because for me, the margins, even drop shipping, were insane. While I didn't have fulfillment, the actual like margins were insane. But let's just review the copy on the actual ad, just so that you guys aren't missing out on sales from the actual feed. So again, you need a watch band that's ready for anything. Again, super common copy. I'm not super good at actually writing lines, but 94-year warranty. Again, you want these guys ideally to be on your brand for a very very long time. Order free, stretchable design with no clasp. I don't know if you guys have ever owned an Apple Watch or had a strap. They get stinky pretty fast. And then exclusive designs. This one was because I had the idea of actually funneling people that were not buying into exclusive purchases. So that was the way I would run my emails. So once they would buy an Apple Watch band, I would go, hey, we saw that you bought an Apple Watch. We're really happy to have you on board. And for this one time, we can give you one of our unlisted Apple Watch bands for 50% off. That would get taken up like that. So my my actual AOV, my average order value, was $89 for this thing. It wasn't just the 54. So the offer that I was running at the time was get one of these and get the other one 50% off. So that would be $54. And on top of that, that post sale upsell that I had with the emails, it was actually selling them an unlisted strap that was not there, but they could purchase if they wanted to, and that would increase the average order value to like almost $100 every single time someone bought. So if you put it into, you put some numbers in there, it was costing me $10 to $15 to get a purchase. On top of that, uh, it scaled all the way up to $89. So the margins are nice and healthy. And for the headline, again, just your standard free shipping, free express shipping, 60% off while supplies last. March strap has 94-year guarantee, breathable grooves, and exclusive designs. So again, I was just reiterating, some of the common objections is, can I get this replaced if this thing like breaks or anything? And obviously that was the plan, but things happen. And then so I don't. So then I would just publish it. That's it. That's all you guys need to know on the Facebook ad side in terms of how we do this, and you can replicate this across said product because it's nothing so complex. I've shown you how to get the targeting down, how to, and actually if you guys want me to, I'll actually break down the actual interest for it just so that you guys get like a more clear description of who is it that we're targeting. So is it an ad one? Oh, there we go. It was on this one. I accidentally clicked out of it. So for this one in particularly, right? So let's just wait for this to load up in a second. So as you can see here, I was targeting top 4. So as you can see, I already had it listed as I've watched top 4. This is from the actual campaign. This wasn't the one I just made. It was just like to show you guys that I actually did run this the way I said I did. So again, top 4 countries. Again, I would suggest that you do run the top 4 countries just at the start because they're most likely to buy already. But you should break some campaigns down into just targeting United States, some just breaking down targeting United Kingdom, some are just breaking down Canada and Australia, just because sometimes Facebook likes to do this thing where they'll optimize for whatever country it's buying the most. So that messes up with the campaign sometimes because sometimes Australia isn't going to buy anymore for that same day, and Canada might. So you have this dilemma where it's like, okay, well, we're getting clicks on Australia, but no one's buying, so none of the ad spend's going to Canada. They're like buyer friendly that day. That's just my take on that. But as you can see, nothing pretty much changed. And in terms of actually targeting people, if you guys want some a little bit more detail on the actual detailed targeting interest, I did not narrow down the audience to engage purchase. I did not narrow down anything super broad open. And the thing you guys could try right now that I know it's working for some people is just having no interest and just going super broad. I don't know how that's working, but it works. But the way I was taught is just get as many interest in there as possible to sort of match your customer profile and then hope that people buy. But no, and now that I've like sort of worked around this, I've found that country matters a lot. Interest does matter, as far as I could tell, because a lot of the people that were clicking on the Apple Watch straps actually had Apple Watches. And then just for like a side note, if you're like blanking out or you want to test something new, some new interest, they do give you a suggestion. As you can see, smartwatch just it works well, and I never ran ads to this one specific demographic, and you could use that. Another thing, wearable technology again goes right in there. Something that I didn't try. Sports tracker also goes in there. Something I didn't try. So as you can see, there's other interests that I never actually tried because I made a really big impact on just that Apple Watch interest. I never bothered to even check any other interest. So that's something that you could take advantage of right now that I didn't. So again, you're fixing up my mistakes of the fulfillment side, of the actual ad creatives, of the actual ad targeting, and I'm actually going to break down how to make your ads yourself on Premiere because that's something that you guys were asking me for. But that's it. That's all I have for this video. After this, once you start running those ads, you're going to make sales. I can almost guarantee you. And just for the sake of it, I am going to remake day 3, cut it up nice and neat so you guys get the most best part about it. And towards the end of day 7, I'm actually currently on time to get on a flight and leave in about 2 hours. So by the time I come back on a Sunday, I'll actually give away the store with the actual copy that I wrote, because right now it's like halfway done. I didn't want to write copy on stream because then that was just gonna bore the fuck out of everyone. I just answered the important questions, but that's it. I think that's all I have for this video. And DM me if you're actually making money with this, because I find it really interesting, sort of experiment, because I know that it's gonna get some sales, but I'm not too sure how many people are actually gonna go take this and actually turn it profitable. But I'm really looking forward to see that. And that's all I have for this video.